Sub-Saharan Africa is set to grow by 3.7% this year and 3.8% next year. But the outlook remains uncertain, given the lack of clarity about the pandemic that has amplified pre-existing vulnerabilities in the region that continue to threaten past gains in poverty reduction, health, and food security.
This recovery falls short of the kind of recovery we're seeing elsewhere, advanced countries expanding by around 6%. So there is actually quite a lot of gap emerging between advanced, large emerging market countries and our region. So that is a cause for concern. And, basically the reasons for this are the fact that we haven't had enough vaccination access and also not enough supportive monetary and fiscal policy stance. So these are both areas that need very, very quick addressing.
A recovery that is in part piggybacking on the rapid growth being experienced in more advanced economies, where vaccination rates far outpace the lag across Africa, as regional economies with a more diversified economic structure better weather the impacts of the pandemic.
About 30 million people, as you quote us, have been added to the poverty numbers. That's coupled with, of course, now increasing pressures that we're seeing from higher fuel prices, which of course have, an effect on the cost of living, as well as, and this is the more insidious part, higher food prices in quite a large number of countries. So a combination of this is going to make standards of living difficult for our people, which is why, again, more reforms, more concessional financing will be imperative to support the region have as strong a recovery as we're seeing elsewhere.
The IMF forecasts South Africa to grow at 5% in 2021 as it rebounds from very weak levels last year, but falling to around 2.2% in 2022, way below levels required to tackle inequality, poverty, and unemployment.
I think this really points to the need for really very robust reforms in South Africa to facilitate a higher growth. Productivity has been very, very anemic. There's a need also to, foster competition, particularly in product markets, which have been quite sclerotic in South Africa. So, I think short of those kind of reforms that will raise productivity in South Africa, we're not going to be able to address the huge employment challenge we have there. And I think that needs to be where the laser-like focus needs to be on in the coming years.
As the report points to external financial and technical assistance, particularly around climate change, as a key peg of the region's ability to build back more resiliently.
I remain extremely optimistic about our country's outlook in the medium to long term. We are going through a very difficult period, but I have no doubt, given the kind of dynamism that you see in the region, the potential that we have in the region, the demographic trajectory that we have in the region, the upside is just unbounded. And I think, it really is just a matter of time before we are back to the pre-crisis growth trajectory that many countries had. Will it happen automatically? No. That's why where reforms come in.
The report says the region's potential remains undiminished, but external shocks like COVID-19 has demonstrated just how vulnerable Sub-Saharan Africa remains, despite all the good intentions in the world. Sherwin Bryceby's SABC News, New York.